Keith's an amazing guy.
What is up? It is Red, the Rideshare Ginger, coming right back at ya, and we are going to go in depth a little bit more on the top 25 tips for Uber and Lyft drivers, and we're going to try to break these videos down as we're going more in depth into sets of 5. So today we're doing 25 through 21. Now let's go a little more in depth than I did in the full video because I just like to try to not make my videos too ridiculously long. So number 25 is track mileage and use a mileage tracker app. Don't use like Uber and Lyft's, wow, blanking on words, but don't use Uber and Lyft's summary. Holy shit. Their summary that they do at the end of the year. Don't use that. Use your own, track yourself. I personally like to use Stride. I will try to put a link in the description for Stride if I can find like a way to put the link in there for you. But it's Stride app, STRIDE. That's what I use. Had no issues with it. Mileage will be one of your biggest deductions on your taxes at the end of the year. Mileage is super important to track and make sure it's relatively accurate. Number 24, don't worry about 1 stars. And to a certain extent, if your rating starts dropping below about 4.85 and you've got over 500 rides in, or even over 100 rides in, then that's when you'd kind of want to be worried a little bit to a certain extent about those 1 stars. But if you're sitting at 4.95, 4.93, you're going to get 1 stars. It just happens. People are assholes. People don't care. People don't know what the fuck they're doing. Like, you're going to get some 1 stars. So overall, just tend to not worry about those 1 stars until your rating's getting super low. So if your rating's at, like I said, 4.85, 4.8 or lower, then you might want to change something with your service. But if you're sitting above 4.9, I wouldn't worry about those 1 stars too much, and then they'll eventually roll off as you do more rides. Number 23, don't start a trip too soon. And this one's tough for me because I have a bad habit of this. I like to start every trip as soon as I think I've identified the passenger, and I'll run a trip a little bit long. Just, it sounds silly, but an extra, 10 seconds on either end, that adds up over the course of the year, and you make a little extra money. But where it fucks you is if you start that trip too soon and your passenger ends up not showing up, then you're screwed on that cancel fee. It's very difficult to get at that point. So you do want to kind of make sure you have the right passenger in your vehicle before you start the trip so you can get the cancel fee if you need to. I'm kind of torn on this. I go back and forth. I still struggle with it, but overall, you really should wait. It's probably better and just overall gives a better experience. Number 22, make sure you are using some sort of cashback card for all of your business expenses, whether it's a credit card. I think Uber's debit card gives cashback. It's just silly not to for every expense. So just go gas, for examples. Let's say you drive 60,000 miles a year for work, and you have a car that gets roughly 30 miles per gallon. That's gonna be 2,000 gallons of gas that you are buying a year. At roughly $2.50 per gallon, that's $5,000. And let's say you have a 3% gas cashback card, then you're gonna get $150 cash back through the course of the year. And that's gas alone. You're gonna have many other expenses that you're going to have, and that's just on gas, and that's assuming you have a pretty good fuel efficient vehicle and you're only paying $2.50 for gas. A lot of those things fluctuate up and down throughout the course of the year. So it's just silly not to have a cashback card. You are wasting money. Now, the one caveat on that is if you had a credit card, make sure you pay it off at the end of every month. You don't want a 21% interest rate racking up on you. So get it paid off, but make sure you're using something with a cashback. It just $150, let's say you use that cashback card and you're getting an extra $500 a year. I mean, over the course of 5 years, that's $2,500. Like, I'll take any extra cash that I can get by doing nothing different. Number 21, learn your area for sites, places to eat, things like that. It really sucks if someone gets in your car and is like, hey, what's a good place to eat? And you have no recommendations just because you don't live in the area and you haven't learned the area at all. So if you're always driving in, let's say, Arlington Heights, learn Arlington Heights, learn the places to go. It's more important when you're in a tourist town like Chicago and people are always going to be asking what's the thing to do, what's the thing to avoid, what are the good sides of town, what are the best places to eat. More important in tourist towns, but overall it's good to know your area just in general. There's always a chance for a tourist to come, even if it's a small town like Rockford or Belvedere or Capron or things like that, or wherever is in your state. But even if you think people aren't going to be coming from around town, it's still good to know. And then the other side is if you are in an area where people aren't coming in from out of town, but they know the area, they still might want to chat about the local restaurant spot and what you think of it, or if there's some new place that went in, they might want to hear your opinion or what your customers have said about it. So overall, learning your area for the sites, the restaurants, the places to do, all that stuff, the places to avoid, it's just going to give you a better customer experience and you're more likely to get tips and higher ratings. So it is what it is. Those are the first 5. Keep an eye out for more in-depth videos for the rest of the tips on the list, and there'll be more to go in-depth on some of these. Like these ones, there's not a whole lot to go in-depth on this, but just wanted to expand a little bit more than trying to blast through that video of all 25. But until next time, guys, like, comment, share, and let me know what you think.